Hey guys, this is Dr. Sean again, and today we're going to go over this pen. And people have asked, does it actually work? And one of the things they want to know is, can you actually find acupuncture points with this pen? We're going to talk about that. So here we are. I've got my mannequin right here, and we've got our pen. And we're going from the Meridian Energy Pen user manual. Here it is. This is for the W912 in here. And I'm going to read directly from it first, but then I'm going to show you a couple things. So in the first thing, the benefits of overview, what it says here is your Wuchan acupointer can be used to locate acupoints on the body and stimulate them to unblock qi flow along meridians or to focus chi on an acupoint. This is good. You focusing more energy there and more consciousness there and more healing energy, basically. The mild electrical impulse will act in the same way that acupuncture needles or acupoint massage. Kind of, not really. So this one here, usually what it says is you can use this as a locator by doing a couple things. One, you have to turn it on, of course, right? So we turn it on. I generally do take the batteries out when I'm not using it for long periods of time, but the batteries have been here for a couple weeks. This is good. I have it at 1, okay? So we're going to go look from here. So this is the large intestine meridian comes up like this right here. Nope, as I just totally throw them off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's here. So we have one here. Let's see, right on the edge of the fingernail. This is number 1. Ooh, feel a big pulse. Now, number 2 should be right across here. Good. Now I'm using this edge. Now this is kind of the pointiest one. You can't take this off, and there's a different one in there, and I'll show you that in a minute. Now I feel it more, actually, along these points. Not as much through here. This is a good sign. The next one is as you close your fist, you'll have the top of this crease. This is number 3. It's very subtle difference, but you can feel. And as you come up in here, number 4, this is large intestine 4. Remember, this is one we had done before for headaches and stuff like that, large intestine 4. As you get in here, you can kind of, as you roll around, you will find it's more intense right about at the top. That's pretty much it. So you are going to feel it more intensely at the acupuncture points. Now, what if you don't feel it at all? What that means is there's a depletion of chi in that area, or you're not on the point, or maybe it's not getting a good connection. Now, remember, have a good connection between this and your skin is very important. Light touch is what I'm doing here just to feel. Now, as I pull down in through here into the thumb, I feel a lot more because we're catching the nerve. This works as a muscle stim or as a TENS unit too, kind of, sort of. So you can't adjust any of the parameters on this thing, so you're not able to tell how many hertz you have or the intensity or the waveform or anything like that. This is pretty much a spike waveform. You can see the little, like, the blinking light right there. Beep, 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 beep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at it like at least 5 hertz, maybe, I guess, with that, or 5 pulses per second. That would be hertz, really. And I'm not sure. It does say it's between 1 and 300 hertz, but it doesn't give you anything else like microseconds or anything like that. I have contacted some of the manufacturers of this pen, and I'll get back and we'll do another one on that all later. So there we go. So we have a few different points we can do. Look at the other videos, which I'll put right up here, and those ones are going to show, or actually it'll be at the end of the video too. There'll be like a subscribe, so please subscribe, like, comment, stuff like that. I do a lot of these. You can buy one through my site. I saw them for $25 anywhere in the United States. You can get them elsewhere, of course, cheaper, but it takes longer. I've only had a couple problems with mail delivery on these, so everything seems to be going fine with that. Using this as an acupoint finder is okay. I mean, there's other ways to do it. This is a very cheap way. I like it. It's not bad. Let's see. We'll find some other points up through here. As we run through here, we've got another 3 inches. So that's about this far, body inches, to our next one. This is going to be 6. And I totally feel a different pinch when I get into that right on the crest of the bone here. And as we come up into here, let's get this one right here, right at the edge. When we close our arm, we have that little divot there. We can feel that one pretty good. Oh, and it's much less. So this does work as a pretty good acupoint locator. Now you can download different charts and stuff like that. And this one, when it comes to you, it does have charts with it, kind of. They give you some of the charts in through here. They'll give you some of the pericardium here, and this is a triple burner or triple warmer, whatever you want to call it. So you can use it as a locator. You can use it as a stimulator for the acupoints. That's for sure. Now, using this as a TENS unit is a little bit different. What you're going to have to do, and what it even says in the book, TENS is a way for you to do one of two things by theory. Number one is to change your perception of pain by the release of endorphins because this pinches. So let's say I have wrist pain, which I tend to have because I have some arthritis in my wrists, for example. So let's go in through here. We're going to find a couple points, and we're going to let's turn it up to, I have it on 5, and I'm going to stimulate some points around the wrist. And you're going to hold it for about a minute. Now, this is a long, long time. When you hold it for a minute, what's going to happen is you're going to stop feeling it. At first, it's going to be pinch, 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 pinch. And then my body is going to release some endorphins in that area. Endorphins are internal painkillers. Like, think of morphine, basically. It's a very similar chemical that your body releases and will cause numbness in the area or cause a change in the perception of pain. The other one is called the gate theory, okay? And what the gate theory, sorry about that, I let go. The gate theory basically says that with this stimulation, this TENS, transdermal electrical neural stimulation, we are confusing the nerve and it's gating off the area, not letting it get to the brain the same way. So your brain's going, whoa, I don't know what's going on there. It's not pain, but it's some other kind of sensation. Oh, I do actually feel this decreasing intensity on the pinch. I'm holding it rather firmly on there, not too deep, not too hard. I mean, we can go like this. I feel it somewhat in the thumb. When you have that happen, you need a better contact. That's really the thing. So using this as a 10, that actually, interestingly, it's less pokey after doing it for about whatever that's 30 seconds or a minute or something like that. So we can use it as kind of a TENS-ish idea. It does take time. Now remember, a TENS unit, a traditional TENS unit, which is kind of this kind of shaped thing with a bunch of cables and pads and stuff like that. Those are designed to be worn for 23 hours a day. You put it on, you leave it on the entire time. You take it off during cleaning and whatnot. But generally, you leave it on to bombard the area with electricity. And they do have more adjustability than this one. This one's adjustability is intensity, really, but it's not much. I mean, you don't notice a big difference between, say, 4 and 5 or 5 and 6. 1 to 5 to 10 to 9 is big. Those are big differences. But these small differences in here, not great for the most part. In what I've done, maybe you feel it differently on those. Let me know if you feel a lot differently. Now, cool thing also, you turn it to 0, right? And then it'll shut off. I'm going to show you something. This is freaking cool. I didn't know this happened. I had read about this before. So you can take off this edge. Like this. Does it really work, right? It says laser. Check this out. This is crazy. I don't know about the laser parameters. It has to be a certain number of angstroms and a certain wavelength and stuff like that. I don't think that this really does it, but I'm going to show you how this thing works. So if you hit the one, okay, so go to 1, right, and hold it down. Okay, you hold it down, and then you're going to get this. Look at that. Pew, 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 pew. You get a laser pointer, right? Not a laser pointer, but laser therapy. Now, this one is going to take time too. You're going to take a minute of time to do this. There's a lot of research out there on whether lasers work. I don't use them in my offices because it's kind of cool. You see that? That's really pretty neat. Let's just do it right on the hand here. You're doing different points. You can do perhaps, the glabella right here, or top of the head. Don't shine it in your eyes. Okay, this shouldn't be shined in your eyes. Lasers are damaging. So this is probably not actually laser. It's more like an LED, but I'm not sure. I got to find out. There could be just some lucky technology in here. You can see the pulsing there. This is a cool thing that I didn't think actually happened. So you got to turn it all the way down to do off. There we go. And you can pull this end off. Sorry, pulling this end off. Sorry about that. And you can also do it again. But we're going to put the collar back on. And I'm going to show you something else. So as we put the collar back on, if you use the same one we have here, so you look through here, you can see a little hole. There's a little hole in the end. That makes it just a little bit more focused. Keep this on there. comes off. It's off, otherwise it zaps you. Okay, hold it down. The LED light will also change color a little bit. So mine's usually green, and it goes kind of a red-green, and you get a little different, like more focused little thing. Now, heliotherapy, for example, is using sunlight for health and stuff, and it's really good. It actually really works. I mean, you want to heal up injuries and stuff, get some sunlight on them. Not so much as you burn, of course, but some good sunlight helps with things like jaundice. Can help with things like melancholy, actually, and depression and things. Sunlight is actually very good for that kind of stuff. Also, bacterial infections, fungal infections, things like that don't do well with sunlight. So UV radiation kills them very quickly. They don't have the melanin that we have, the covering that we have to protect us against them. So they're able to die and get rid of. We can use it. This is very similar to that. Again, I don't know about the wavelengths. I'm going to check that out, and I'll do a whole video on that. But it does work as a little laser. So we have now acupoint stimulator, yes. TENS unit, yes. I'm going to say yes with a kinda, because you can't really adjust it. And then also laser pointer, or laser, at least a laser pointer, I guess. I don't know. Tease your cat with it. But you got the laser also. So laser does work. And this was by a someone who watched the video, clued me into that, because I didn't know how this thing did that. I looked through the whole thing. The whole book in here has nothing about that. So I went through, and he said, oh, you just got to hold down the plus button once you hit one. Okay, so you hit one, and you hold down the plus button, and you'll have the little beep, 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 beep laser. There you go. And to turn it off, you have to go all the way to 0, and it'll turn off. Same, there you go. Now, finally, people want to know if you can use it for muscle knots. Absolutely. This works great for muscle knots. So what it does is it stimulates the, let's turn it up to 3. It stimulates the motor point. So let's get a good motor point right here. There's a good one right down there on the thumb. Now watch, as I go further away, boop, 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 boop. There's really not, there is actually, there's more of one right here, acupuncture point right in the center. But as we get up, we start seeing more and more and more. Okay, so yes, you can find your motor point of the muscle where the nerve meets the muscle, and that will stimulate the muscle to move. Now, this is good according to the book. I can see it through there. So you get it through the book, you can get, it says to use for atrophy. I guess atrophy would be okay. So in here, should be able to get a good one. Where are we at? Should be able to see something. Oh, come on, man. There, we can see it there. Little bit, there we go. It's got some pulsing. I have to hold it really light to get the pulsing. This again is an acupuncture point. As we increase our arm here, we find this little crease. That's going to be our heart meridian 3 right there. So we get in here. Boop, 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 boop. Now you pulse around. You're going to have to move around. You may feel shooting up the arm. That means you're more on the nerve. If you feel pulsing of the muscle, that means you're more on the muscle. So as we poke around in here, sometimes you can get some. Oh, there's a good one. There we go. Let's see. Pop, 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 pop. Look at that. Good. As I tighten it up, it goes away. This would be good for atrophy. So yes, it can be used as a muscle stim. Now, is it going to give you the same results as the way more expensive, way more technical, with all the cool dials, which I'll show you in a second? So is it going to give you as good as something like this, which is a traditional TENS unit? Not really, because we have so many other controls. We can change so many other parameters. What about one of these little muscle stims here? No, because we have more things we can adjust here. Not as much as we can adjust on this one, but we can adjust some stuff and get some, differences. These have cables that shoot off, and you patch on your arms like this one too. It's very similar. Now this, kind of the big kahuna, this is an acupuncture needle stimulator. These are much more expensive, much more detailed, and much more variable. Now, you want to get even more, you got to go to this kind of guy. Here, this is a high volt system, and this one plugs into the outlet, and those are about $3,000. So you probably don't want that one. This one can be $200-$300. These ones can be, they can be a lot, but they're usually between, say, 50 and 100. This one you can get for 25. Okay, you can find it cheaper, of course, but so get it if you want to get it. Is it going to pinch you? Yeah, that's part of the deal. Is it going to irritate the skin? Probably not. Keep it clean. Use the conducting gel if you get it. If you order it from me, I usually throw one in there, and it's just some kind of little uh, like like just a lotion. You can use aloe vera, works great, and any kind of like lotion or oil or even just a little bit of dab of water will also help it conduct better. Those are really good to do because then you don't get the shocking, the zapping that sometimes people feel. If you're getting too much zapping, it means your system is way in acupuncture. We would say that it's very maybe tender and very um, uh, needs some TLC. Okay. Now you can use this also without the pointer part of it too. You can even turn it off, just leave it off, and use it as a to get in these muscles. It actually works really, really well for that. You can get in here and work these guys either with or without the uh, electrical stim. So there we go. Does it work? I'd say yeah. I mean, is it as good as something you can get at a physiotherapist, chiropractor, acupuncturist, or a physical therapist place? No, but still, it's useful. Yes, I think it's really good for things. Now, one of the things, if we look at what TENS is used for technically, is going to be osteoarthritis, fibromyalgia, tendonitis, bursitis, good one, low back pain, labor pain, you can use TENS units for, chronic pelvic pain, diabetic neuropathy, and peripheral artery disease. Now, this book here, or for our little machinima jig here, we even have a little list I think they gave us in here. And they don't think they gave us the list in here. No, it's given on some of the manufacturers' websites, which is basically the same. They say muscle atrophy, pain, acupuncture conditions, and stuff like that. So, anyway, don't forget to subscribe and like and stuff like that. If you want to order one, you can go to the website. I'll put a link in the bottom. It's thenaturalbodyworks.com, and you can look up, I think, store or something like that. And I'll send one out to you if you're in the continental United States. Otherwise, you can order them from places like Wish or eBay or whatever. Sometimes on Facebook, you'll get inundated with all those things. Don't spend too much on them. If you're spending a very little on them, like $3-4 because they're from Wish, you might have to pay $15 or $30 in shipping, which then negates the whole thing. So I'll send it $25 shipping included. Just get it to you. Anyway, this is Dr. Sean signing off. You guys have a lovely time. Take care of yourselves, and don't forget to watch the other videos. I'll do more. I have some more coming. Thanks. Bye.